but that's okay, I guess.
So we'll be starting in around 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Attendees at 6, 5, 4,
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, participants from College Dunia. Good afternoon to the very eminent panel members. I have with me Professor Supriyo Roy, who carries with him more than 25 years of experience in the industry and from the academia. He is a IIM alumni. I have Professor Arun Kumar here, who's again from the education and the industry, carries with him for more than 20 years of varied experience. I have Chakravarti with you, Dr. Professor Chakravarti, who is another eminent personality, having worked 16 years in the defense services and the last 18 years in the academic arena. I am Professor Soman Nambiar. I have more than 40 years of experience teaching and working in the industry. I'm old, so that's the way it is. So let me just start before we start this process. Today the webinar, and I should thank actually College Dunia for giving us an opportunity to showcase our concepts about career planning. So the career planning now, post-COVID has become an issue which none of us expected. It's an issue where many of us, parents, students, corporates, have never even experienced a similar situation, and neither are they in a position to understand how to handle it. Therefore, as academia, we thought that we will present a webinar today, and we will tell you how to plan your career, because the post-COVID is not going to be the same as you did before March. Your classroom teaching, everything will be different. And this panel of members would help me to answer many of the questions we truly expect you to ask. So let me now start by just asking each one of them to give me an introductory remark for 2 minutes on the themes of career planning for post-COVID. Dr. Supriyo, sir, what's your take on this?
Good evening, everyone. Professor Soman, this particular pandemic is not only once in a lifetime event. Nothing of this magnitude has been seen over the last 1 century.
Very true.
So it is quite expected that, the humanity was not prepared for an unexpected event like this. But that's on one side of the story. The other side is that, given the technology that is under our command today, what has happened around the world, and we are no way behind the very advanced countries in the world, in India also, what we could do is that we have used various means, particularly in the education sector, to fight the impacts of the pandemic and ensure that the continuity of the education of the children, right from KG to PG, right from the preschool all the way up to the students who are in the advanced university academics, they are being given the necessary inputs, in a distance and a remote mode. So what we could do is that we could ensure certain amount of continuity in spite of the challenge that was thrown, in front of us because of the pandemic. Okay, so what is important and what I would advise to the students and the parents, as a community today, is not to feel any amount of despair, because we have maintained the continuity, we will maintain the continuity, and they are not going to lose out. They are not going to lose out. In fact, to a great extent, I would say, if I may just go a step forward and say that we are creating systems and processes where they will be benefited more than what they, what they lost out in the process.
Okay, all right. So thank you. So, Dr. Chakravarti, what do you have to say about what was added by Professor Supriyo, and what is your take on this? What do you have to say about this career planning for post-COVID students or scenario?
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Soman and other esteemed panel members. As Professor Supriyo has rightly pointed out, that COVID-19 pandemic, it has revealed the vulnerabilities. It has also surfaced the extraordinary human resourcefulness, and potential decisions made today will have a very long-term consequences for the future of education. Choices must be based on a humanistic vision of education and development, and of course, the human rights. We should understand this COVID-19 has the potential to radically reshape our world, but we must not sit passively and observe what pays out. This is the time for intelligent collective actions. Few more
Okay.
actions collectively we can take. For example, we should commit to strengthen the education as a common good.
All
We
right.
should expand the definition of the right to education so that it addresses the importance of connectivity and access to knowledge and information. There has
Fine.
been a remarkable innovation in the response of educators to the COVID-19 crisis. We must encourage conditions that give frontline educators the autonomy and flexibility to act collaboratively. On the part of the students, participation of the students and the young people broadly in the co-construction of desirable change, that is the mantra of the day. Traditional classroom organization must give way to a variety of ways of doing school, but the school as a separate space time of collective living, specific and different from other spaces of learning, must be preserved.
All right. Thank
Taking
you,
all
sir.
these considerations, a new
No, go ahead.
dimension that
Yes.
plan something on the careers post-COVID area. Thank you, Professor
Thank you,
Suman.
sir. Professor Arun, you are an expert in management teaching.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what is your take on this? I mean, is it technology driven or is it going to change the scenario? What is your advice to students today, especially management
Yeah,
students?
definitely. Correct, sir. Correct. I mean, yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I mean, thanks for the opportunity given to us, actually, College Dunia, for creating such a wonderful platform. Yes. Yes, Professor. Coming back to the question, actually, you asked, actually, yes, the opportunities beyond the post-COVID world and beyond, right? I mean, see, when it comes to actually career planning, whether it is COVID or no COVID, actually, obviously, I mean, it's one of the most actually the kind of the professional chartering career is actually challenging to everybody, but more so now actually because all the panel actually who are with me, they will accept with me that actually that we have seen actually that two major recession in the last 3 decades, right? I mean, so this recession because of COVID actually it has actually thrown a lot of challenges. I mean, it is not only actually with regard to the knowledge or per se, actually the technology per se. It is more than that actually, because we have to even manage our lives as well, right? I mean, we have to live with that. We have to understand actually how life is going to happen. So in that way, I mean, what we should do? Should we be worried? No, not at all. I mean, then what to do then? I mean, so basically, what I feel that actually we need to realign ourselves, right? I mean, things are going to be same. I mean, nothing is going to change actually. Personally, I cannot change my characteristics. I cannot do anything much, but I have to realign myself, right, to the tune now, to the requirement of the industry to meet the expectations and the challenges. This is very, very important. I mean, even each and every kids actually who are going to embark on this journey, right? Whether it is the technology, I mean, whether it's a BTech, BBA, or MBA program, what are the things they are going to embark on actually. So they must realign ourselves, and probably I think they must look forward for a platform where actually like a progressing university like Presidency University, where we keep on actually, I mean, dwell upon such kind of things and we prepare for their lives. I mean, it's not only just, I mean, management when you asked actually, not only just giving them the tools and tackles to manage the career things actually. At the same time, now it is more important that actually that we are going to prepare them for their life, so that, I mean, how to live along with this, and then how to move on. And that's why actually realigning ourselves is actually much more important. That's what I feel, Professor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So let me tell the participants that this is we are from Presidency University, Bangalore. We are a state private university, and I'm going to take you through a quick walkthrough about what we stand for, what is our vision, and how does a campus look like. See, first and foremost, I would like you to inform you that we are very, very progressive universities, as Dr. Arun had mentioned. And what is equally important is that we have the best of, we offer some very good courses for students. So I would like to start and tell you that, look, this Presidency University is a group of the Presidency Group. You must have heard of it, though. If you're from Bangalore, you would have heard of the Presidency Group, where we have 7 schools, 4 junior colleges, 1 UG, PG college. We have a university, and we have about 26,000 students all put together with about 3,001 employees. It's a big group, but what is special is Presidency University is a state-private university, which means we design our curriculum. We are able to give you the best of curriculum. We don't have to follow the government curriculum. Students can get the best, which is very, very contemporary. We have a very, very special logo, which is the birds. If you look at this, you'll find the birds just flying away. This is exactly what we stand for. You come into the portals of Presidency University, you gather knowledge, you gather the skills, you gather the attitude, and then we help you to, fly across and reach greater heights. And this is not a colloquial thing, this is exactly what we stand for. And what do we want to be? We want to be a value-driven global university. We like to excel in whatever we do, and we are working in that in that direction. We had started the year in 2015 with about 625 students. Today we are 9,500 students, expecting to end this year by 11,500. This is not possible if we did not have the best of teaching, the best of students, and the best of pedagogy. Now, we also look at how the students, the rates at which we have gone up. We have filled up our, every year you will find the number of students joining Presidency University is substantially higher than the previous year. The average growth is around 20%. This year, despite, last year we 3,750, this year, despite the COVID-19, we are looking at touching 3,750, which means by the grace of God, we are not seeing a dent in our admission process so far. And MBA, we started with just 38 students or 41 students in 2015. Today we have about 646 students in the second year, and we have another 600 and 700 coming in. So it's about 1,400 students in the MBA itself that you have. Now, we also have these law students, which are equally growth oriented. As you know, many of you are from PUC, you might not look at engineering, you might look at law. So we have an equal growth perspective. It's always an exponential growing. But what is important is, if you look at the placement process, I'll come to that later, let me not disturb you now. You will find that, look at the MBA, if you're an MBA student, we have 960 approved intake. We keep 60% to ourselves, 40% is surrendered to the government. So those of you who are postgraduate students expecting to join the PGCT, to join the MBA program in India, in Presidency University, you might come through PGCT. So we have a concept where 40% of seats are available, and we also have a scheme where if you get a rank and you can still join us if you don't get any university of your choice, and we will give you a seat in the same PGCT fee. All right, that's the additional. We recognize the fact that students from Karnataka need to get real approval. These are some snapshots of the university. This is the main entrance, right? You find this is the drone view from the top. A beautiful campus. You will find this is the library, and the left side is the library and the cafeteria. The right is the drone, the access to the canopy where we all start coming in. Then you have on the top left-hand corner is the arch, the canopy. Right is a lot of space for students to sit, spend time. Why am I showing you this? I don't know where you come from, but if you really want to have a career and you want to be part of the university that is going to take care of your career post-COVID, then this is the place to come, because environment is a very, very important thing. You cannot walk into a university and say that we are pro-COVID compliant and we will take care of you when you don't have the infrastructure. We have the infrastructure. We spend a lot of efforts and in creating. Look at the cafeteria. This is the cafeteria and the sitting point, student affairs. This is your library, very, very well equipped. These are the classrooms. The white one, this is the MBA, and the other side is the engineering students. You will find a lot of those mechanical things on the left side. You will find that this is the lab. Some of our labs are all very, very contemporary, beautiful labs, all latest machines. If you get an opportunity to come down, many students do come down. If you're Bangalore, please come down. This is a computer lab. Each student has a dedicated place. All of them. Nobody has to sit and get troubled by another person on the side. Enough space. We have a lot of efforts on this. This is the mood court for law students. We have a code concept. We teach you how to handle codes. Then we have the engineering students. We have a lot of practice classes outside. You will be handling real life survey and things like that. We had 2 convocations so far. The first convocation we had Dr. G.D. Devegowda was the Minister of the Higher Education then. And then last year we had Professor Dr. Kiran Kumar, who was the ISRO scientist, who was very closely associated with with Dr. Abdul Kalam and others. And what is it that we have before you? Today we have around 9,041 students. 140,400 students are graduating, but we are bringing in another 3,700. So you'll have about 11,250 students. You will have about 500 employees, 6 schools, 39 programs, and we have a lot of scholarship, which is all, if you're deserving, socially disabled, financially disabled, you have the concessions that we offer to the students. Now, what are the programs that you have? Look, this is a student. If you look at as of now, BTech, we have 6,092 students in BTech. That's one of the biggest schools. It's just a school, but 6,000 is as big as a university. And these are the programs, the students. We have 1,611 in computer science. I'm talking of current years. I'll show you which subjects. This is the students. Here you have, this is the other civil engineering. Totally, you have 2,217 students. My total students for the engineering as of now is 6,092. Adding another 2,200, we hope to touch 8,000 by August, and that's not a small feat. MBA is again pretty high. We have 1,200, and we have BBA, which adds a lot of value students. We have about 300 last year, and we have another 700 this year, so it's another 1,000 of students in BBA. And look at the MBA programs that we have. We offer you MBA in dual specialization, marketing and finance. We have operations and logistics, supply chain management. We have marketing and human resource management. These are dual specialization. You can take marketing and finance. You can take marketing and operations. You can take. There's a number of students who have taken that. So you'll find that a lot of you students will have an opportunity to make a quick choice about what they want. There's a lot of flexibility. We have a dedicated MBA in digital marketing. We have a dedicated MBA in e-commerce. This is for those who really want to be entrepreneurs. And similar to BBA also, we have a series of specializations, and we have BBA Aviation and BBA in digital marketing. We have BBA in e-commerce and logistics, supply chain management. We have BBA in finance, HR, marketing. It's a unique program that we have for our students. It's not the run of the mill. We're not like a college otherwise. We have a lot of speciality in that. These are the big students of the BCom, and we have BCom honors and BCom professional. My students willing to do BCom are coached to do their CPT. That is, you can prepare for the CA foundation. Coaching is given by J.K. Shah. It's one of the best groups that is available in India for coaching of chartered accountancy. And we have the BCA, and in our BCA we have a different concept which I'll talk to you later. We have your BCA in augmented reality and virtual reality. We have a BCA in gaming and graphics. We have a BCA in vanilla. It's a different types of programs that we have. Now let me just take to you this is something you should see. These are the programs you have: computer science and engineering. In computer science and engineering, we have new age programs. What are the new age programs? We have artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have cybersecurity and forensics. We have computer science and engineering in data science. We have computer science and engineering in blockchain. You have another program called computer engineering, which is all about data analytics. Then you have the mechanical engineering, which again has 2 different dimensions. 3, you have mechatronics, you have additive manufacturing, and you have the traditional mechanical engineering. Similarly, civil engineering, you have the traditional civil engineering. You also have the smart cities, civil engineering, smart cities, and you also have the civil engineering in infrastructure development. What I'm trying to drive the point home is, if you look at these slides, the courses that is offered to you is phenomenal, highly specialized. It's not just that you do computer science and engineering and you walk out. You are going to do computer science and engineering, specializing in that domain that you want to excel. For all practical purposes, the syllabus are slightly specialized, product-centric, and student-centric. So if you choose AI and ML, 99% of that opportunity fact is that you will be a successful AI ML engineer. You don't have to worry about that. And This is the program in engineering which you have for civil engineering, as I told you. This is for MTech. We have programs in MTech as well. We are a single point thing. You can start in school, presidencies, schools. You can come into Presidency College. You can come into Presidency University, finish your BTech, do your masters. You can do your PhD here too. We have that flexibility in offering A to Z. These are the programs in MBA. As I told you, we have MBA Digital Marketing, we have MBA in e-commerce, we have MBA in Business Analytics, we have MBA in Logistics Supply Chain Management. Plus, we have the traditional MBA, which gives you the dual specialization, where you can take in finance, marketing, HR, operations, and logistics supply chain management, any of the two that you like to choose. All right. I don't want to take up much of your time, but similarly, your BCA computer applications, as I told you, there are three different, very, very modern, very, very approachable, and very contemporary. Very contemporary. That's one thing that I'd like to add. Now, what is the difference in the academics that we have? We have a lot of regulations. We make sure that the rigorous teaching is continuous. We have an online teaching process. We have the face-to-face teaching process. We have professional skill. We have soft skill training from day one. We make sure that students who come in have the ability to express the way they have to be expressed. We prepare students to be industry ready, not from the third when you do the test before the final. It is right from the beginning. So we make sure that you do everything that is expected of you. All right, MBA semesters. Now, how do we train you? How do we evaluate you? We have this, for example, if you're doing the BTech, we have two tests, monthly tests. We have one test in November every year. We have a test in December. Now it might be online. These are all part of internal assessment. Together, they will constitute 40% of your final marks. Then you have a lot of quizzes, you have a lot of assignments, you have a lot of internal assessment cases, and then your final exam is for 40%. So totally, we ensure that our students have a mix of continuous assessment. Not that you do just an exam and you do badly in that exam, you're lost. No, you can do the first test, you're not done too well, you can catch up with the second test, you still don't do that well, you have the assignments to catch up with, still you don't do well, you have the makeup test which we have a summer term where students are allowed to catch up and improve on their particular subject content. All right, these are the way we have done this. This is the standard. I don't want to show you much of this. This is some of the photos that we have. The way I would like you to see what our university is like. I'm just a quick walkthrough so that you don't get lost. It's a nice place. It's a very, very effective place. We have a lot of clubs and committees. Students are very, very active. We have a very strong department of student affairs, very strong, very active. Lot of activities take place in the campus, and that, in a nutshell, is what we all are. So this I just brought out to show you that this is what Presidency is all about. But the main idea today is not for this. It is to share the thoughts with my eminent panelists on what you would like to know as to how to plan your career for the post-COVID world. So I will start by requesting Mr. Shomik to, we can reduce the slides. The slides could go off. Hello, is the moderators? So let me just get on to this. The question that I would ask Dr. Supriyo Roy is, what exactly is this? We all of us talk about COVID-19 being drastically changing the ecosystem of the higher education in India, and you also mentioned that when you started your talk. But has it really altered the ecosystem, sir? And what is your take on that? And then what action does Presidency University have in mind to handle this?
Okay, as I see it, yes, COVID-19, the pandemic has very fundamentally affected the ecosystem. But if you look finally, the process of change already started. What typically has happened, that the concept of blended learning, that was already becoming almost a default standard, like a new normal, because the old concept of giving only the classroom teaching with a standard set of curriculum was giving away. Even I'm happy that today the new education policy 2020 has given a lot of emphasis on blended learning, on skill development, on online learning, all these issues have been integrated into the NEP 2020. So this process is just being enhanced by this pandemic, okay? And what the students need to prepare themselves for is to think how the global situation is going to change. Just to give you an example, the work from home is going to gain importance even after the pandemic recedes. People are realizing that a lot of productivity can be obtained while people are not stuck in a traffic jam on a road, right? But they can actually use that time more productively when they work from home. The point is that how are we going to prepare our students to adjust themselves to the new demands that is going to come, in the future workspace? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, the whole workspace is going to look very different compared to what we see today. People coming to office and they're sitting using their laptop or computer or entering a meeting, with their colleagues. The designers are, working together to do designing. Planners are working together to do planning. Now, while these fundamental processes will remain as they are, but the method of delivering it will fundamentally change. And COVID-19 is going to have a very, very serious impact on it. And I think as we go forward, I will get an opportunity to explain exactly what it is going to be and how the students must prepare themselves for this world of future.
But how does Presidency University is going to prepare students to handle this post-COVID change of blended classroom? And if you could share with the students as to what you meant by blended classroom.
Sure, I will. Basically, what is going to happen is that, the social distancing is going to be norm in the near future. So what Presidency University has done is basically has, further strengthened the IT environment. The Presidency University is already having a very strong IT backbone. The whole campus is Wi-Fi enabled. So a lesson can be not only be delivered to the classroom, a lesson can be delivered to a student on or his laptop or another device, smart device, which can actually accept the lesson wherever they are. We are working on the concepts of creating virtual labs. We are working on the concept of creating, centers of excellences, which will the students be able to use the AR/VR technology to do a lot of experimentation, right? Even in a remote mode. So these are the preparations, which we have started doing, keeping the impact of social distancing norms and also the, remote learning process that we have to bring in place.
Okay, Dr. Chakravarti, I was just trying to figure out because there was a recent survey much before the onset of the COVID-19, where the McKinsey report, it said that in the next 2 decades, in the next 20 years, around 50% of the jobs which are presently available in the industry is going to become redundant. And with this onslaught of COVID-19 and with more jobs, the pace of redundancy is definitely going to be much, much faster. What is it that you have planned at Presidency University to negate or to counter this problem of redundancy, job redundancy?
Professor Suman, this is something very interesting which you have asked. See, for next 2 decades, the EduTech, which is the short form of education technologies, the enthusiasts have been predicting that the technology will become the biggest intermediary of teaching learning process.
Okay.
In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, millions of students across the globe have been driven out of their university spaces. Professors are confined to their homes. Higher education stands disaggregated, and faculty and students are grappling with the sudden new norm of completely tech-mediated teaching and learning. Now, coming to the preparation on the part of the students and the preparation on the part of the presidency, we are taking a couple of proactive measures that is good for the university, for the futuristic university, and education 4.0 compliant university, and for the students as well. For example, for the students, what they should do in this changing situation, they should be aware of the global scenario. It is very important to stay updated about the developments in the industry globally. They should remain connected with the industry experts. Today, industry experts can also help the students to adopt the changes, because the industry is going through a very rapid changes this post-COVID world. And due to this situation, many industry experts are volunteering to share their experience with the student community. COVID
Okay.
increased the proximity between the industry and the educational institutions. Students should get updated into various virtual talk sessions. The talk sessions with students to share the difference in the industry practices before and after COVID. There is a remarkable difference in the industry practices before and after COVID-19. These students should get. This will help them to understand not only the new developments, but the reason behind the changes in progress. They should
So,
have.
In
Yes,
fact, if
please.
I may further add to what Mr. Chakrabarti is saying, and I was actually seeing some of the questions being posted on the wall. Let me pick up. I saw a question coming up that whether there is a opportunity with the civil engineering. Which people know that today, if somebody is joining a civil engineering, probably the scope is limited. But I would say no. Whether it is civil engineering or mechanical engineering, somebody wants to do BBA, somebody wants to do BCom or MBA. The point is that let's try to understand that. I'll give an example rather. I will say that you go to an ice cream parlor and you want to buy, vanilla ice cream. There is a price for it, price tag for the vanilla ice cream. And the moment you want to go and buy, let's say, Belgian chocolate with a dry fruit topping, the price is different. Why? Because these two products are essentially very different. So I say that you want to do civil engineering, do it, but focus on the latest developments in civil engineering, which is going to be demanded 5 years down the line. Anyone who is getting into an engineering education today will take 4 years to complete. So don't think what is happening in 2020. Think what the world will look like in 2024 and beyond. What is going to be demanded, what skill is going to be demanded, what specific knowledge base is going to be demanded. So if you pick up a course in civil engineering with smart city as a specialization, you know you are going to create a career which is going to remain in demand and in vogue for the next 30-40 years, because the smart cities are going to be the future. That's how the future cities will look like. Take for example mechanical engineering. Okay, so instead of doing a simple plain vanilla mechanical engineering, add knowledge into mechatronics, add knowledge into additive manufacturing, which is going to be offered by Presidency University. These are the new skill sets, new tools that will be required by the industry, right? In 5, 7, 10 years down the line. What's going to happen is that if you come and present yourself to a potential employer and you say that, hey, I have studied mechanical engineering, but I have a specialization and
okay. Sir, I'm sorry I'm interrupting here because if you were just now, both of us, both Professor Chakravarti and you were both talking about redundancy and knowledge redundancy. Are we talking about job redundancy or are we talking about knowledge redundancy here?
It's both. It's actually both, and these are very closely related. Please try to understand. What is typically happening is that as the technology progresses, the older technology becomes redundant. You remember that the initial cell phones, which were introduced during the mid 90s, they used to be big machines, very heavy, right? There were no smartphones available till Apple came up with, their first version in 2007. And Steve Jobs changed how mobile phone, is being used by an individual. Today, a mobile phone is having a camera, you have a personal digital assistance, you have the complete, programming also.
All right.
On your cell phone, right? So the point is that one has to keep the eyes and ears open and identify what is going to happen in the industry going forward and pick up those programs and pick up that pace of learning. I was seeing another question that which is the best college for BBA. Point is that you want to do a simple BBA or you want to do a BBA with business analytics integrated into it. So you are coming out as a student, after completing your 3 years BBA program, where you understand the concept of business analytics, which is going to be demanded in any sector of the industry, irrespective of
Okay. Sir,
Professor Suman, I would like to add one point that whenever we are talking about the new things. In fact, one area I would like to emphasize that the projects every student undergoes some during the span of their academic career. Now today, even Presidency University, and in fact, it should be done by many other academic institutions, that we should develop the solution-based projects. The solution-based projects today, if the students engage, this will create a sense of ownership and a thought leadership among them. So this is something I think all the academic institutions should start, giving to the students. This will add value to the new generation.
I'm sure the students would have taken that. But Professor Arun, we were talking about redundancy, and as Dr. Supriyo said, redundancy of both knowledge and job. And let's accept it that it is true. Jobs are going to become redundant, and knowledge is also becoming obsolete.
Yes.
As a professor of management, what do you think? How strong or how ready is Presidency University in transforming students to tackle these measures?
Correct, sir. Correct. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I do agree with both of my colleagues. Yes, the redundancy, and I would add that actually that obsolescence of not only the knowledge, even the skills as well. Because the skill sets actually need to acquire over a period of time, right? Because normally what happens actually over a period of time, we have seen that actually that the obsolescence of knowledge and skills, long recognized actually as one of the problem affecting individuals, and also actually and that of the careers and organizational effectiveness as well, right? The moment actually we end up actually in organization actually that automatically it's going to happen. And most often actually it's addressed that actually that reference to the professional or the managerial careers that's going to happen, right? So normally really somebody actually who wants to understand the definition of obsolescence from a professor point of view, it can be defined actually as the degree to which the knowledge workers lack the up-to-date knowledge. In terms of actually the skills that is necessary actually, right, to maintain the effective the performance in either their current or in the future jobs actually, right? So at Presidency University actually we understand that, right? Over a period of time, probably it's going to happen actually with each and every individual. That's why actually keeping that the trend actually, as rightly said by Professor Supriyo sir actually, that yes, we are planning ahead actually 4 years ahead, 5 years down the line, where exactly the students have to concentrate. For example, we have at Presidency University there is something called as open electives. As per the National Education Policy 2020, they have told that actually a student will have right from 6th standard actually the multiple option to study. And I'm happy to say that actually we at Presidency University, it is not being implemented now. Since last about 6 to 7 years, already we have done that. Just to give an example, actually, how does this open elective happens? A student can choose between 2 to 6 open electives. Suppose somebody is actually studying management education, he or she feels that actually that I want to take up actually cyber law. Cyber law is actually as one of the elective. Probably down the line, actually, I want to get into IT space. And parallelly, they will feel that actually, okay, cyber technology also I should know. And also they will feel that actually that because we are into that actually the digital, because of the digital transformation, the disruption that is happening in the market. The MBA 4.0 concept. Towing the line of actually the industry revolution 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in the era of 4.0. So what we have done actually, we are probably one of the few universities in the country to provide actually a specialization called as digital transformation. So probably this particular digital transformation is going to talk about specialization, like actually targeting towards what exactly the blockchain technology is going to talk about, what exactly the IoT technology has a lot of influence in the market. Similarly, whether it is cyber security, and nowadays we have seen a lot of upsurge actually in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we are trying to actually gear up the students actually for the future, so that at least actually they are ready. And definitely yes, and along with that actually we have the human skills. That is very, very important. Which parallelly we train them. We have a department called as learning and development, which takes care of that, which is going to prepare the skills necessary for the human side, not only the management aspects, not only the technological aspects, even the human touch point is also actually. So combining all the three, Professor, so we are trying to address the near
Sure.
future.
Thank you. Dr. Supriyo, I would just like to ask you, see, you are a graduate from management from IIM. You see, they have this outcome-based learning. That is, every time you teach something in a university like Presidency University, you make sure that the knowledge they gain is assessed in such a manner that the expected outcome is evaluated. Am I correct? But that was fine if you have this face-to-face classes. But today, with this online classes coming on, how do you think this OBL, that is this outcome-based learning attainment, can be achieved? And what is it that has been done in Presidency to ensure that though teaching is done online, students get the crux of what they are taught? Can you throw some light on that, sir?
Yeah, sure. Basically, let me, share my thoughts on these issues of outcome-based education and outcome-based learning. I would say that when we do online teaching and blend online teaching with classroom teaching, the process of outcome-based learning will be further augmented. I'll tell you
Okay.
why. I'll explain you why. What happens is that just imagine in a classroom, a physical classroom, and there are about 50 or 60 students sitting there, and the teacher is delivering a lecture. So what teacher is only using her or his skill set in terms of using some ICT tools to further enhance the learning process. Okay, but typically what happens is that when we offer a course online, I think there was some disturbance Professor Soman Nambiar sent, but it's all right. I'll continue.
No, sorry. Chairman had come, so I had to just move on for a minute. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
It's all right, yeah. So now what typically I was saying, Professor, is that, in a physical classroom, even though the teacher is equipped with a lot of ICT tools, the assessment of the learning does not happen as the class progresses. But
Okay.
while we do an online teaching, that assessment process also can go almost simultaneous in a real-time manner. So
Sir,
I would say that if we are smartly deploying technology and smart tools for the online teaching process and augment that by adding the physical processes, be it in the computer lab, be it in some other labs, right? For MBA, it can be a business lab or an incubation lab, or for engineering programs, it can be some other, in a machine lab or in a workshop. Online learning, which provides you an opportunity to do real-time assessment, augment with a physical classroom-based learning and one-to-one interaction, right? All these blended learning environment can actually ensure that the absorption of the content, absorption of the knowledge, right, goes several notches higher than the traditional method of teaching.
okay,
So
sir. Can I interrupt you for a minute? When you
let me
spoke about
complete,
use
let,
no.
let me complete this point. So,
Okay.
in my opinion, today, Presidency University is creating a platform which will be seamlessly blending a classroom learning with online learning, with virtual labs, with industry practices, industrial practice blended into these, into the process of learning. There will be professional practice also that will be blended into the learning process. So when you put everything together, then what in our educationist terminology, the course outcome, the program outcome, and the final attainment, what we want to achieve, that okay, we reach to 95% level, 98% level, 99%, or even 100% level, is something which will be eminently achievable. I have not the slightest doubt about it.
Okay, Dr. Chakravarti, I'm just extending from what Dr. Supriyo had spoken about it now. this blended classroom concept, all right, do you believe that this blended classroom is as good as face to face, or is there a possibility that blended classroom of having online as well as face to face, which is going to be the new normal in days to come? What is it that Presidency University is doing to ensure the onset of blended classroom learning?
Let me answer you in a slightly different way, because as we all know, wherever there is a challenge, definitely there is an opportunity. The silver lining is there, and we all by now have accepted that in the post COVID-19, the world is going to be a different place. There will be visible changes across a range in behavior, whether be it shopping, be it eating out, be it travel. Understandably, the impact of the pandemic has already been felt in the education sector. It is reasonable to assume that this impact will be here to stay for a fairly long time.
Okay. Okay.
This pandemic is clearly a sign of changing times of human behavior. It is an
But
event and has given rise to push the digitization of the business, specifically in the education sector. Coming to the blended classroom, see, the classroom will be supplemented by online coursework. This way, the students may be required to physically attend the classes on fewer days and will be free to study at their own pace. This will also give them adequate time to assimilate the information. One very interesting fact is use of artificial intelligence will help personalize the learning experience for every child. Soon, we in Presidency University, we have understood that going forward, the one size fits all, this approach that is mostly followed in traditional classrooms, and use technology to offer a learning experience that is uniquely suited to a students' learning needs. The blended approach is going to stay here in the learning to turn with the help of all types of students, because it is not anymore a one size fits all concept.
all right. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And thereby increasing the ability to personalize the learning. That's the biggest effort, the personalization of learning. And the building classrooms, it creates collaborative learning experience. Collaboration between students and instructors can increase, as well as it allows the students to connect with each other. The biggest challenge and probably the opportunity that, or the thing that we need to create, is to increase the interactivity and the engagement, which is a very common thing in a traditional classroom, which we need to integrate in the blended approach, and it has to be built into the online teaching and learning process.
All right. Okay. Okay. Understood. Dr. Arun, see, if you listen to Dr. Supriyo, you listen to Dr. Rajkumar, they were all talking about the things to happen, that it's come to stay. Blended classroom cannot be divorced. You will have online classes, you will have classes at face to face, but with all the social distancing. But as a teacher or professor of management, what action have you done at Presidency University to make the MBA programs pandemic insulated? Protected from pandemic, the impact of pandemic.
Correct. Yeah, right. I mean, I got your point. I mean, yes, I mean, as rightly mentioned, actually, that not only because of pandemic, otherwise also actually, as I mentioned at the initial presentation, that we are a progressive university which keeps on thinking about actually what exactly is required as part of the contemporary in the market. I mean, it is not just about actually giving the traditional verticals. I mean, so few changes which I mentioned already. I mean, it just showed as part of the slides that actually that we have 5 different MBA programs. When I say 5 different MBA programs, I mean, keeping in trend with the market, actually, the traditional verticals of whether it is marketing, finance, HR, or operations, along with that, actually blended with that, actually even the industry vertical, something to talk about the business analytics. That is going to be the order of the day. I mean, in engineering, we talk about actually the data sciences, right? Extending a line further, actually in MBA, the business analytics, which is going to be there actually for quite long, right? I mean, students are going to reap that benefit, right? So, and also actually, so keeping in mind actually that we are going to have more of an entrepreneur coming up actually, right? So we have courses catering to that actually, whether it is MBA e-commerce, right? Because we have seen actually the splurge actually in the e-commerce area going up and up actually, right? So that's why we thought actually deep dive into e-commerce. That is one more area, and also many of them actually they are keen to take actually the MBA digital marketing. That's also other area where actually a lot of changes are happening, and on the upcoming area. Added to this, I mean, e-commerce, and one more area which goes hand in hand actually is MBA, that is logistics and supply chain management.
Exactly.
Because we need to understand, because the guys who come now, they're asking actually for deep dive into these particular courses. There used to be time actually, the traditional courses used to be more of, I mean, students used to be, so the order of the market, it is moving more towards specialized area than the generalized area. So already we are geared up, professor, for that actually we have been doing that.
So the doctor said saying the same thing. So this is also for BBA as well as MBA.
Yeah, this is also applicable for BBA as well. I mean, in BBA also actually we have 6 different verticals actually we have distributed. I mean, the traditional we have separated as BBA, marketing, finance, HR, and IT and IB. And apart from that, actually, yes, BBA fin technology, that is one area, and BBA digital marketing, and BBA actually business analytics, and one area, yes, I mean the BBA aviation management. Probably, I mean, it may take another year or so actually, but by the time actually these kids are going to pass out, it is a deadly combination. It's a combination of the general management, the aviation sector, right, and even the hospitality management. All three put together. So these are the contemporary areas actually which already we have been geared up. So that straight away, I mean, immediately after the post-pandemic actually, COVID, they can start working and actually so realize their potential.
So what you're saying is if students plan to do BBA or MBA Presidency University, they will get the latest program, the latest contemporary program that will see them through the difficult days insofar as placement is concerned. Right, thank you very much. Dr. Supriyo, sir, I just wanted to ask you, you have added a lot of, you are talking about new programs that you brought in, IoT and other things. What are the new programs that you've introduced in Presidency University? Not only in terms of handling the COVID-19 scenario, but as a natural corollary of enhancing the value to students. So what are the new programs that you've added to the student community?
I think it's a very, very appropriate question, Professor Suman. And I was also seeing some of the participants in the webinar is also posing questions like, is CSE, computer science, is better than other branches of engineering? Someone is asking, what is the future of IT, for example? What kind of future awaits a student in the IT based engineering programs? Now, I will combine the questions being posed on the wall as well as what you asked. See, basically, I would put it this way, and I just mentioned and I reiterate that any engineering program can prepare a student, right, for a bright future, provided the basic program is garnished or enhanced with the latest developments that is happening in the industry. My colleagues have also been referring to education 4.0 or industry 4.0. So today in the digital age, we need to understand as a university as to what's happening in the marketplace and the industrial marketplace. Bring that and embed that into our curriculum so that when the students learn that and go out seeking a job with, say, a manufacturing organization or in the service sector on a purely software development and coding environment, their skill set is valued by the prospective employer. That is important. Now, coming back to your question and the future of IT, what I would say is that if you see, there is a very, very distinct movement in certain areas. Today, we are talking about, particularly in the computer science area, which is going to be an enabler of all the activities that happens in the industrial sector, both the physical one as well as the virtual one, you know. So what is happening is that programs and the knowledge in the area of artificial intelligence and deep learning is going to play a very, very important role. Along with that, one needs to understand the concepts like Internet of Things. The life of the future generation is going to be driven. Tomorrow, we need to understand that all the homes will turn into smart homes, right? Now, which technology drives the smart homes? My civil engineers will run smart homes, and the civil engineer will be collaborating with my computer science engineer, okay, to design the smart home where the Internet of Things will be in a remote basis from a smartphone. One can operate the refrigerator, the television, the air conditioner, the washing machine. You know, that enhances the productivity of a person, right?
All
So
right.
about, you know, how the whole, not only the finance sector but in general the way the business is done world over is going to go a fundamental change, and the technology that is going to bring this change is blockchain.
So, sir, what are you trying to say is that the career for these students of the future, the COVID, post-COVID, is going to result in their planning differently. They should take courses, programs which will give them, will generate a career for them 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line, rather than do the traditional programs. Is that what you're trying to tell us,
Yeah,
sir?
precisely. So therefore, if I look into engineering segment, the new programs introduced by Presidency University, for example, you know, be it big data, be it IoT, that is Internet of Things, or it is blockchain, it is cyber security, it is AI/ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are the important areas, or even data analytics. You know, so these are for computer science graduates. Coming to other engineering domains, programs like additive manufacturing or mechatronics or smart city, infrastructure development in case of civil engineering, okay, energy systems management when it comes to, you know, triple E, that is electrical and electronics engineering. Age and future oriented programs which are going to give the necessary input to the student so that they can ride over that, you know, the risk of obsolescence and remain relevant in the future. That's point number one. Coming back to programs like MBA or BBA or, you know, non-technical programs, there again, as you know, Professor Arun was sharing, that we have introduced programs like, you know, say business analytics, or it is, you know, logistics and supply chain management driven by the IT technology or IT environment of today. Okay, or for that matter, if we are talking about digital transformation, so the people who are not purely going to be an engineer will be given the basic understanding of how the world is going to operate, influenced by the future technology. A manager must understand that. They will not be doing the coding themselves. But a future manager must understand that how does, let's say, you know, a smart home operates. The future manager must understand that how the RFID as well as the GPS technology will actually, you know, will be controlling the global movement of goods. You know, whether it is being shipped in a container or it is moving as a cargo on a cargo vessel, okay, or it is a oil tanker, or it is a CNG vessel that is moving in the high seas, how the it will be tracked, and at the receiving end, how the organization which is supposed to receive the cargo will be doing their planning. So all things a manager must understand. So therefore, our BBA programs, our MBA programs will be oriented to give enough input and understanding of these emerging technologies,
All
and
right.
that will
Right,
make
right.
this future ready.
Okay, Dr. Chakravarti, what was your placement scenario? Because you see, Dr. Supriyo said that we are now talking of the career planning for the post-COVID area. Before the COVID, you must have had some very good track record. Presidency University has a very good track record of placement. But having said that, and given the the outbreak of COVID-19, and given that the blended classroom has come to stay, do you believe, what is your placement process and what changes have you made to the placement process to ensure the students get placed?
Well, it goes without saying that when a university like Presidency University, which is aligned to the Education 4.0 and Industry 4.0 concept, all the programs are updated on this line. The students get the latest and updated knowledge. Gone are those days when the industry will come, pick up a fresh graduate, and will send them for a few months of training, and then post that training they will be absorbing those students. Today everybody wants a ready-made product, and industry also expects that academic institutions will train the students in such a way that they will come do the recruitment and immediately students will be put onto the job. So we have been doing extremely well in this. Even pre-COVID era, we were achieving almost 90-92% of placement. And the good news is, even during COVID, and the situation is still not over, but we have already started the 2021 placement with a big bang. A company like Capgemini has been given the first day one slot, and they have come, and the large number of our students have cleared their preliminary tests. So we are very hopeful that many of our students will get in the top-notch companies. And already we have a very big pool, an elaborate pool of very highly paying top-notch companies. For example, last year, even in MBA batch, we had a placement of 10.5 lakhs, which was given by Federal Bank. The average placements that we had in MBA was close to 5 lakhs. In engineering, it was close to 4 lakhs. And we are expecting that since this year we are, introducing a lot of new changes post-COVID, we are bringing in a lot of, technology-driven programs. So what will happen is the placement scenario will be much, much better even as compared to the pre-COVID era. So we are very optimistic about that. And it has started right now.
All right, sir. Having said that, do you believe that you would prepare your students to get placed much better? Chakravarti sir?
Of course, yes. The training part of it, if you say, we not only impart the academic knowledge, right from first semester, students are trained on various other aspects which the company looks into the students, the soft skills part of it, the team management part of it, the leadership part of it, the communication skills of the student. The university, the team takes a lot of interest, the placement team takes a lot of lot of pain to and lot of effort. They put lot of effort to train each and every student so that they reach to the expectation of the industry.
Okay, sir, are you telling me that you will help students to plan their career when they come in for admission by telling them what are the various options available, various programs available, and if they do BBA, what are the options available? If they do engineering, is that what you counsel them when the students come in, sir?
Absolutely, yes. We give them all the options. First, we give them elaborate career guidance. Then choose the right career. And once they choose the career, we make sure that they get the latest and the most updated, technologies or the knowledge in that particular area. And obviously, it goes without saying that they are picked up by the best of the companies. And we are getting very good response from the companies because we have all these new age programs, and they are very happy with the academic leadership of the university, that the students are meeting their expectation, and when they are onboarding them, they are also doing extremely good in the companies. So they are very happy about that.
Thank you, Dr. Arun. As a student, I was very particular that I should have an all-round, exposure. I should have co-curricular activities. I should have extracurricular activities. I should be able to run around. I should be able to play cricket. I should be able to play football. But this post-COVID, that might not happen. So, what do you think is, how are you going to ensure that at PU, Presidency University, this will at least continue for some time? Students will get that focus on co-curricular, extracurricular. How do you do that, sir?
Yeah, definitely, sir. I mean, yes, and on the jovial note, yes. I mean, they have enjoyed enough. I mean, for the last 17 years or 20 years, 21 years, I mean, they have been doing, whether it is cricket, football, or even the badminton, other things, even now also they can do it. But what I would advise actually, as rightly said by my colleague, Professor Chakravarti, that actually it's an opportunity to explore something new. I mean, something which we haven't so far done actually in our life, right? For example, I mean, just to share a simple example, I mean, on the other day, just about few days back, actually, I was discussing with one of my colleague, Dr. Saxena. So last year, actually, we had conducted there's something called as the Mela. I mean, wherein which actually that we had set up lot of stalls and other things. The students they sold the various the items. And actually, you were just wondering, actually, Professor, how to go about, right?
Okay.
So we discussed that. Finally, we decided, and we could able to zero on actually some of the students. They said, "Sir, this time actually we will do it everything. Actually, we do email, electronic mail. We'll open the window actually for about 15 days, right? I mean, we start actually that marketing our products, right? I mean, thereby it is not only just actually some of the few skills are going to be tested. We are going to test each and every skill sets of ours, right? So, I mean, thanks to technology. I mean, we need to thank technology. Without technology, we cannot survive at all. So we have to be, I mean, completely dependent on that. And I'm quite sure this generation actually they are so much geared up, right, in terms of technology, and they're thoroughly enjoying. I mean, we professors actually when we give some case study actually thoroughly they do enjoy actually through electronically. I mean, they're able to do that, and then lot many things could be done. I mean, sometimes I mean I should not say this actually. Sometimes thanks to the COVID actually because of actually many areas which we never explored, we are able to do it now. I mean, many technological things actually which we should have done actually because of actually since I mean due to the traditional way we never did that. So probably now this is the time actually to explore beyond, and definitely it's not going to stay forever. So probably it's a matter of another 6 months or 8 months down the line, right? So definitely, I mean, the rest of the activities are going to start. But yes, students actually have many activities. I mean, through electronically, they can explore that. We can engage them, and already we have been doing that, Professor. I'm happy to say that.
All right. Sir, Dr. Supriyo, you have been stressing on this blended classroom where you said that, you mentioned that Presidency University has a very strong IT structure, IT infrastructure. What about these average colleges which do not have a strong IT infrastructure? How will they handle this blended classroom, so-called new normal learning? How will they handle that, sir? What should they do? What is your advice to such institutions? Or what is your advice to students how to choose their college of their choice?
Yes, I mean, there will definitely be a shake-up into the education sector, and anyone who is not going to gear up to this new normal, and to the new demand of blended learning that is offering a lot of online learning, on the go learning, personalized learning environment, flexible learning environment, and distributed learning opportunity. Whether you are traveling in a train or a bus or a car, also should you if you wish to that rather than watching say a YouTube video, you want to just revise your that day's lecture given by the professor. You want to revise that, and if it is your choice, you should be given that choice. So the point is that only the updated modern universities who are going to create an environment like this are going to offer their student body the right kind of opportunity to be ready for the future. The other people who are not creating or unable to create this kind of environment, unfortunately, I must say, though they are from my fraternity, but I would say that they will be doing a suboptimal job. They will not be giving the student what they require to be ready for the future.
But how would you advise the students to make a choice of the college? What should they look for? What should they look for?
Therefore, my advice to the student body, or all the students who are thinking about taking admission for various programs, in this academic year and even in future, to be little careful in watching and finding out how prepared their place of learning, be it a university or be it an institute of higher learning, how prepared they are to offer this kind of a learning opportunity. So that
Okay.
is basically a box. There are three, four boxes they must put the tick. Yes, the university is ICT enabled. Yes, the campus is having Wi-Fi in every nook and corner of the campus. It is Wi-Fi enabled. Yes, there is a blending learning opportunity. Yes, There is a massive open online courses being offered on the LMS platform, on the learning management system platform of the university. So these are the essential boxes that must be ticked before the university is chosen. So that's my earnest advice, that in order to get the right value for the money you are going to invest. So let's understand that any single rupee that you want to spend today, right? You want to get some value out of it. It should not go down the drain. So therefore, while you are investing in your future, in your career, and a student who is walking into institute of higher learning is actually thinking of creating a career which will make them good for the next 40 years. So imagine the amount you are investing today, you are actually investing in yourself to create a career that will be helping you be economically productive for the next 40 years.
All right, sir, you were speaking about the new normal. All right, I would like to ask Dr. Chakravarti, this new normal which is stressed so much by Dr. Supriyo, how prepared is Presidency University to manage and onboard the new admissions with this post-COVID regime?
Well, I'm very happy to share that Professor Supriyo was talking about giving tick to all the parameters that a university should have, before a student makes a choice. And Presidency University will get 10 out of 10 in that. Because right from the process of initial interaction till the placement process, we have made everything suitable and adequate to the demand of today. For today, nobody has to, walk in to the university to get the details. We have all the necessary information posted in the website. There is an interactive system that has been built up. The admission form can be filled up online. The subsequent process can be completed online. Any kind of questions they have, that can be answered remotely. We are conducting similar, programs. And for the new students who are coming, we are also giving them a bridge course, which is being given to across the board, all the programs. Our
Okay.
professors are gearing up. The bridge course is given to each and every student. Almost 2 weeks, bridge course is provided before they are taken to the mainstream, knowledge.
So you will have this course even for students coming later batches? You will repeat this bridge course for the later batches like CET and PGCT students?
Yeah, we are trying to extend that.
Okay.
And so that everybody gets ready to get onto the next level of the system of learning, I should say, because as I mentioned, the blended learning concept has to continue, and the students also need some preparation. They also need some training to optimally use this facility which is offered by Presidency University, and then it's a
So,
good start and students can make the best use of that.
okay, sir, if the government allows these colleges to reopen, are you telling us or you're telling the students that they will come in small batches? Instead of 60 sitting in a class, only 30 will sit in a class. They will maintain social distancing. They will have masks all the time. They will have sanitizers at locations which are already there in the university now, where you have to go and sanitize yourself. All this be taken care or will be taken care or has been taken care at the university, sir?
See, it is well taken care, and let me tell you, whether it is COVID or no COVID, certain necessary things has to be followed. In fact, COVID has given us a new warning or new awareness about doing the things, but these things were supposed to be followed even before. So when it comes to the social distancing, yes, it is going to stay. We are going to have, as we said, that we are going to stress upon the blended learning, so we can make it to the batches. Some
All right.
batches and the others may,
Fine, sir. Fine, fine.
we will take it.
I think we are already crossing the time, so I'll just quickly sum it up with another question to Mr. Arun. Sir, to be honest with you, what are your plans to help? A lot of students today say that they can't pay the fees, their parents have lost their job, they have difficulty in financing their education. How does Presidency University help such students, sir? What is the help you give to those students who can't afford higher education?
Correct, sir. Correct. Yes. Thanks to our chancellor and chairman. I mean, since ages actually since last 46 years, we have been running the education temples. We have 6 schools and colleges. So I just want to mention to each and everyone actually that definitely yes, we are very much there to help each and everyone, right? Education is the right of each and everyone, right? We will look into each and every individual's need per se, and also actually we have made a lot of arrangement. I mean, during this COVID, in terms of actually one is actually the merit scholarships we have introduced that definitely is going to help them. Apart from that merit scholarships also, I mean, we have come up with actually the various the new schemes in terms of the payment, right? I mean, the flexible payment systems we have introduced, and also since we being actually approved by almost all the authorities, the statutory authorities, whether it is UGC, the state government, the ASCTE, whether the Bar Council of India, approved by each and every statutory authority. So each and every nationalized bank, they have extended education loan to each and everyone. And adding to that, actually, one more what we have done, we have tie up with multiple fintech company, right? I mean,
Correct.
we have made a scheme that is something like when we purchase something, I mean, an article or something actually in the market, actually a sort of EMI schemes are going to be generated. Similarly, here also actually we have made EMI schemes available with these fintech companies so that the burden is not going to be too much on them. And we being university, we are taking that interest burden on ourselves.
Oh, is it
So
for is it for this year only, sir?
yes, as of now, we have extended for this year. So
Okay.
probably down the line, so probably I think we can extend depending on the circumstances and the situation. But yes, I mean, a lot of things have been introduced, Professor. I
So,
mean,
so, so Presidency University will help the parents to get the loan and they
yes,
pay back in 10 or 12 installments, right?
yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah, yeah,
interest of this is borne by the university for the first year. Is this what you're
yeah.
trying to say?
Yeah, this is what I want to say actually. Suppose the fee structure is about 1.5 lakh, so automatically it's going to be distributed into 10 equal installments. So 15 each, 15,000 per month. So the burden on a parent actually. So I am also father of 2 kids actually. I can understand what normally goes actually, right? So we have done that. We have extended to everybody, and this scheme is applicable to each and everyone, and we are happy to give it to almost all the needy people actually. Which got that, yeah.
All right. I will just close this out with one last question to Dr. Supriyo. Did Presidency University make any attempt to globalize itself? Has it tried to internationalize itself? And if so, what are the collaborations that you have entered into?
Okay, that's a very important question we brought up at the end. See, any forward-looking university cannot remain insulated from what is happening around the globe. So, to that extent, Presidency University has also gone ahead and created several tie-ups with the global universities. The first one I'll pick up is our tie-up for our computer science and engineering department with the University of Texas at Arlington. What happens is that some of our, the bright students, after completing their 6 semesters or the 3 years of study, after achieving a certain grade or the CGPA, they can achieve an automatic admission into University of Texas Arlington. They don't have to write GRE. They can go there and they can complete their final year, or then subsequent to that they will get an opportunity to complete their MS also. And they will be at par. They will be at par with anyone who is completing the BTech degree here in India, writing a GRE, then securing an admission, and then going there and doing an MS. And that too, they will do this in a lesser amount of time. Because usually, if somebody does a BTech here in 4 years, and then the person does MS in 2 years there, so it takes 6 years. In our case, in case of our student, it can be completed in 5.5 years. So they save some precious time while getting an excellent exposure. So this is one example in point. Then when it comes to MBA, we have a tie-up with management programs. We have tie-up with this University of Alabama at Huntsville, right? We are also tying up with several universities of South Ural, for example, in Russia.
Okay.
Aydin University in Istanbul. And, I mean, we have tie-ups in Germany. We have, and several tie-ups are actually in the pipeline. Because at this point of time, because of the NDA, etc., I may not be able to take the names at this point of time. But
Okay.
there are several tie-ups where our students will get an opportunity to exchange ideas, study abroad. Our faculties can go and faculty exchange can take place. Research opportunities will be created with overseas universities. This globalization effort is very much in place in Presidency University, and this is only going to get strengthened as times pass.
Okay, sir, we have some couple of questions from Prashant Dinesh, and who says that
I'm sorry I'm sorry to
hello.
interrupt, Professor.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to
sure.
interrupt, Professor. If you could kindly commence the session. We are already short on time, so if we could kindly wrap up with concluding remarks from all the panelists.
I
Okay.
think based on the suggestion from College Dunia, I would say that anyone has any specific questions through College Dunia or directly they can approach the university, and I think the admission team and the counselors can refer to them. So as we suggested, I think this time we can wrap up with the conclusion.
Dr. Chakravarti, anything quickly to be said before we close down?
Yes, I think there was a question that when the class starts. So we have already started Bridge course for a couple of batches, and probably for the remaining we are starting from 18th of September. So that's in a nutshell. Then probably you can go ahead and make the conclusion.
Dr. Arun, what is your last take on this webinar?
Yes. I wish each and everyone. I mean, all the kids are most welcome. I invite each and everyone. We are very much there. Don't worry, nothing is going to happen. We shall overcome this. And definitely, I think we have a wonderful team of actually academicians and also the staff over here to take care of each and everyone. Right? Let's all get used to SMS. Though we are more tuned to WhatsApp. I mean, SMS means we all know that actually the social distancing, right? I mean, the mask and that of the sanitizer we cannot forget. So let us keep that as SMS in mind and let us maintain that and invite everybody. So I wish you all the best and thanks once again.
All right. Thank you very much, eminent panelists, Dr. Supriyo, Dr. Chakravarti, and Dr. Arun. Let me, for the benefit of students, quickly sum up. If you have listened to what was told, the panelists are trying to stress that notwithstanding COVID-19, notwithstanding that there is going to be some drastic changes in the way teaching takes place, the new concept of partial online and partial face-to-face. They are of the opinion, unanimously of the opinion, that the new normal will involve students being technically very profound, teachers changing the style of teaching. But what is most important is how to plan your career given this changing scenario. So what is important is for students to choose their career based on their passion, not whether you will get a job. Jobs are plenty. Jobs will happen to you if you really are good in your subject. As Dr. Chakravarti said, placements about 92%. That is not because you joined Presidency University, you get 92%. You are good. The teaching is perfect. Students learn a lot. Your knowledge, your the skills, and your attitude makes a difference. So if you listen to all the three panelists, they have come out as one common thread in that. And what is the thread, gentlemen, guys? The thread is anything that you need, you can call on us. Presidency University will be ready to help you. Through College Dunia, you can get in touch with through College Dunia. And number two, we are there to see through our students, to see through these difficult days. But at the end of it all, the takeaway from this webinar is, students, don't be afraid of your career. Your career is taken care by the programs that we offer. Choose the program you like, go ahead with that, and you will never regret COVID or no COVID. With that few words, thank you very much, everybody, and thank you to College Junior for giving us this opportunity. And if these questions could be sent to us by mail, we would respond to them very, very personally. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all the panelists.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Great session.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let us log off then, sir.